Brandon with goHUNT. We're sitting in the middle of June. A lot of the Western draws are over with. Some of us may have permits in our pockets, and a lot of us don't have any permits in our pockets. We want to run through a few of the opportunities that are out there to still put a permit in your pocket, go have a good time, you know, fill the freezer if you will, get out and enjoy what the Western states have to offer. And we're going to jump right into over the counter. So, you know, a lot of us refer to them as OTC, you know, true over the counter. You plan a trip, you pull into town, you know, you hit a CPW, you know, office, buy a permit, or a lot of times if you're there a day or two early, you can stop at a grocery store, anywhere, any licensed agent, and pick up one of these permits. They're truly over the counter. They don't put a limit on them. You can show up, buy a permit, go hunting, have a great time to do it. So that's OTC, over the counter. In Colorado, the king of over the counter are elk. They offer 3 different seasons for you to pick up a permit for. They offer an archery season, which runs September 2nd, opens September 2nd, runs through the end of the month, September 30th. Great opportunity. In my opinion, this is just prime. You can hunt a lot of units across the western side of Colorado. You're hunting during the peak of the rut. You are hunting pretty pressured elk. That's the only downside to over the counter, is they are unlimited. So don't expect to pick up one of these permits and go into the backcountry and be by yourself back there. That's not what this hunt is. A unique thing that I want to mention about that archery season is they offer 2 different permits. They offer an antlerless only over the counter elk permit that is valid in certain units. And that is actually a List B license. So in Colorado, you can have both a List A and a List B in your pocket. And so their either sex permit is the List A permit. So if you really wanted to fill the freezer, if you will, and you're confident, you could actually put 2 of these over the counter tags in your pocket. You could go hunt bulls, and you could have that backup tag for a cow as well. So you could bring 2 elk home in the coolers. One word of caution with a lot of these over the counter units, there are antler restrictions in a large part of the state. Look those up, make sure you're legal when you do harvest a bull. Like I say, a lot of them have antler restrictions, 4-point or better on at least one side, or brow tine, certain length. But again, archery, month of September, incredible opportunity to get out into the field. They offer second rifle seasons. So that this year, actually, that second rifle is the end of October, first part of November. And then third rifle, which puts you right in the middle of November. Again, great opportunities. Again, not a hunt that you're going to go into expecting to be by yourself in the backcountry. There's a ton of people that buy these tags. A lot of times these are family hunts. You'll have large groups of guys that have been doing this for years over there, but they're fun, they're enjoyable. I know a lot of people that'll go over, put an over-the-counter tag in their pocket while they've got a deer tag, shoot a branched antler bull, and fill the freezer with it. The little kind of underrated hunt, in my opinion, for over-the-counter in Colorado is their antelope season. So they do have a archery over-the-counter antelope tag for a lot of the western part of the state. You know, is it worth the time away from family and home? You know, if you're single and young, absolutely. If you've got, you know, a semi-full season already, probably not one that would be on my radar. It's going to take me out of, you know, away from home, away from family, kids, and typically a lower harvest success rates with this particular hunt. But I wanted to jump into how I use the product, how I use Filtering 2.0 with these opportunity hunts. A lot of times it's the exact same as I research, you know, prior to going into the draws. I typically start with, and I'll sort units by male to female ratios. There's a lot of data that goes into that. It's a pretty strong data point. The higher the bull to cow ratio, the more bulls on the landscape, to an extent. Populations across Colorado are doing fairly well when it comes to elk. And so anywhere I can put the favor of me finding a bull in that herd, I do pay attention to that data point quite a bit. From there, you know, I look at harvest success. I look at public land percentages. I don't have any access to any private land in Colorado. I don't really have any connections over there, so public land is an important filter for me. And typically when we talk about over the counter, we really don't sort by trophy potential, but it is something that I pay attention to. Typically a unit that has, you know, high male to female ratio and a higher trophy potential has a little bit healthier herd composition. And so that is is something that I do pay attention to. I may not filter out a unit if it has low trophy potential, but I will definitely sort and see how they rank against each other, and compare units based on trophy potential one over the other. And so those are some key data points that we've incorporated into Filtering 2.0 that help you narrow down where exactly in the state you want to hunt, because you can buy, that over-the-counter permit is valid in a lot of the state of Colorado. And so you do need to have kind of a game plan going into it, narrow down, 2 or 3 areas that you want to focus in. The great thing about the over-the-counter license is you're not limited. You don't have to pick a particular unit. When you go to buy that license, it's valid in any that accept it and have that season. So if you've got 2 or 3 areas in 2 or 3 different mountain ranges and you want to plan, 4 days over here, come back, regroup in town, get a good night's rest, a good meal, go back out for another 4 nights, 5 nights, you can do that. That's the flexibility is there with Colorado's over-the-counter tag. Personally, I know a lot of people that's a destination hunt in their schedule. They plan on picking up that over-the-counter tag in Colorado every single year, and they learn those units and they go and they're successful year after year harvesting 6-point bulls. Just because it's an over-the-counter and it's an opportunity hunt doesn't mean that it's not a good time, that it's not a good season to go hunt, and it's an opportunity that's out there for you right now. So continuing with the over-the-counter theme, this is my home state of Utah we're going to cover today. And I put a kinda, so over-the-counter kinda. It is over-the-counter. They do sell out. This is one where there are limited quotas in some of these seasons, so you are going to run into a little bit of hurdles there. They've changed a few things this year. You'll notice that they are staggering when these permits become available. Last year, it was kind of a rat race because everybody logged in. You had a pile of people that were going after the archery permits that were unlimited, that were kind of clogging up the system, and making it hard for people that wanted to purchase one of the limited permits difficult. So we're going to jump into Utah elk. To be honest, this is one of my favorite permits that I put in my pocket every single year. The option, so the unit right out of my backyard is a spike only permit. I typically pick up either an archery permit, or I jump in and try and pick up one of the multi-season permits, which allows me to harvest a spike in the unit, or the archery one's open. I can go hunt an any bow unit, I can hunt the spike only units with that permit. But it is a permit that's on my radar. I do put this tag in my pocket every single year. The archery permit is an any bowl and a spike. So you buy the archery permit, they're unlimited. This is when you can go, it's true over the counter. And then you can hunt an any bowl in the units that are designated any bowl units, or a spike bowl in the units that are designated spike bowl. The fun thing for me is I put a spike tag in my pocket and I can go hunt a lot of the limited entry units in the state of Utah. I can't shoot a big bull, but I can get in. The rifle season is in October, first part of October. The archery season runs through August and the first part of September. So you do get to experience the elk woods when it is magical. Like I say, super fun hunt. Those are available beginning July 8th this year. The next one are the any bowl permits. You can buy a rifle permit, a muzzleloader permit, or a multi-season permit that allows you to hunt any open season. You can only harvest one animal. Those become available July 13th. And then again, the spike only permits, again, rifle or muzzleloader or multi-season, those become available July 22nd. Again, those are limited. The any bowl is gonna have 17,500 permits combined between that. And the spike permits are limited to 15,000 even through those. I don't get super detailed. Again, I pick up this permit as one that I'm going to do with my family. I usually throw my kid in the car. We run up, we chase elk for a few days, evenings, mornings, whenever I can get away. It's kind of turned into Utah's family hunt, where years ago the general deer tag was Utah's family hunt. The spike hunt and the any bull tag has turned into that for Utah residents. If you are out of state and don't know where to even begin with that, our Filtering 2.0 product really helps you walk through this. You can select any of these species or any of these seasons for elk. If you wanted to go elk spike only, you select that species. It's going to show you all of the units in the state that you can hunt with that permit. Vice versa, any bull units, spike units, interchangeable there. You just select which one you're going after, and then you can use all the filtering elements of filtering 2.0 to narrow down and find the information that you need to get started and go out and hunt that. Again, incredible opportunity. These will sell out fairly quickly. Last year, I think they sold out the first day. So jump, if it's something that you're interested in, make sure, I believe they open at 8 o'clock Mountain Time in the morning on these days. So make sure July 13th, July 22nd. If you're an archery hunter and only plan to archery hunt, you can wait and buy those anytime as a true over-the-counter. So that's the main opportunity when people think Utah opportunity hunts. There is a new little hidden gem that Utah started offering last year, and it is a bison over-the-counter permit. A lot of us were skeptical last year when they introduced this. Knowing the area, I knew they'd kill bison, they'd kill buffalo, and they did last year. It is a very remote part of the 9-mile unit, especially where the bison inhabit that part of the unit. They're unlimited. They don't put a limit on the number of permits they're selling. It is a buffalo, it's bison. They're huge animals. It's in an extremely remote part of our state. So there is some limitations there. I put a little asterisk. If you are interested in this hunt, there's some important details. One, if you are accruing bison points and you buy this permit, it purges all your points and you're no longer eligible to apply for bison in the state of Utah anymore. Your once in a lifetime permit is obtained. However, if you did draw a bison permit and are on that lifetime waiting period, you're still eligible to buy that permit. So again, there's some important details surrounding this. Access is a huge issue. You either, you float or you backpack, hike. There is some access to it, but it's extremely limited, and they're giant animals. So just be prepared if you're gonna dive in and research this hunt. We do have it added to our Filtering 2.0 with a ton of information on the unit profile from biologists, from people that know the area, people that have been up there, actually hunted that this last year. We've added that information into the unit profile, so it's pretty dialed, pretty detailed. One thing with that, if you aren't an insider and are interested in this information and you go to sign up, use the promo code STRAT50. That'll give you 50 points towards our gear shop, and you can get kitted out and geared up to do some of these over-the-counter hunts. If you have any questions about these, drop them in the comments below. If you enjoyed it, like and subscribe. We're gonna try and put out a little bit more information about opportunity hunts going through the year. A ton of opportunity across the West. There's no reason you shouldn't have a permit in your pocket and be out in the field. So.